I left home at 6 because I was mistreated by my grandparents.
I left home at 16 because my stepfather abused me.
I left home at the age of 6 because my stepmother fed me until I bled.
I used to sell marijuana and cocaine on the streets to survive. When that wasn't enough, I'd steal from shopping centers and steal cars.
I had to prostitute myself to survive on the streets and to pay for my drug addiction. It brought me lots of money, but also rejection from the other street people.
The first time I tried drugs, I threw up, but I liked the way it made me feel, that it made me forget about the pain.
Prison and rehab never took away my addictions. They simply traded one for another. I need something to take away the problem in my heart.
I always felt alone. People wanted to kill me and my friends. So I began to cry out to God for help. Then, Jesus found me.
He brought me food.
And he led me to a place called MEFI.
'Several years ago, I had the opportunity to come here to Mexico on a short-term trip. It was during that trip that I encountered Santiago on the streets. Santiago, as a young boy, was burnt all over, and he not only guarded himself physically, but emotionally as well. And it was during that time working with people like Santiago that I saw the need and the purpose for Proyecto MEFI. Proyecto MEFI was inspired by the story of Mephibosheth in the Bible. Mephibosheth was the grandson of King Saul. Not only was he King Saul's grandson, but he was crippled in both feet and hiding and rejected by society. King David sent out Ziba out onto the streets to find Mephibosheth and to invite him to eat at the king's table. Proyecto MEFI draws many parallels in this story for our ministry. Like Ziba, we're called to go out onto the streets to find the broken and the rejected and to invite them to eat at the king's table. We shorten the name Mephibosheth to MEFI, and MEFI represents our 4 key principles: Misericordia, Esperanza, Fe, Integración, which in English means mercy, hope, faith, and integration. Like Christ, Proyecto MEFI seeks to reach out to the whole person. We do this through 4 specific areas of ministry. Firstly, a proactive ministry which seeks to educate both children at risk and their parents of the dangers of the streets. Secondly, we go out onto the streets where we meet the people that live there and we feed them both spiritually and physically. We have a drop-in centre, which is the first step that these people can take to leaving the streets. In that drop-in centre, they have the opportunity to wash their clothes, even receive new clothes. We also feed them and introduce them to Christ through Bible study and discipleship. We also partner with several rehabilitation centres where these people can break the cycle of addiction so that they can leave the life of the street behind forever.
The truth is at MEFI, I have found a different life. The brothers and sisters here have suffered as much as I have or more, and this is my strength. It shows me that we can all make it in this life. I now realize that God has a purpose for me, to show the world that He exists and that God is everything in life. To be honest, for tomorrow onwards, I want to be a good soldier for the Lord. I want to live my life so that everyone who knew me before will realize that God can change any life. MEFI has shown me that I am not a piece of rubbish, but a diamond, and that is just need to polish myself well so I can shine. Thanks God and Proyecto MEFI, because without them, I reckon that I would not be here sharing this testimony. I would be in prison or dead. I thank God for giving me the opportunity to give this message to everyone watching this video. And the message is that you can give the best of yourself to those of us who truly need you. Don't just do it to feel good, but do it from the heart, as if you were serving the Lord.
One day, when I came into the drop-in center, the MEFI team told me they had good news for me. They wanted me to help clean the drop-in center, and in an exchange, they would give me money for rent so I could have my own house to raise my daughter. Jesus not only came into my life, but got me off the streets. He gave me a house. I once lived in a garbage dump, and now I have a house. I love working here at the drop-in center because it gives me the opportunity to share with people that there is more to life than just the street. When I see the girls with babies on the streets, my heart goes out to them because that is exactly where I was. If MEFI had existed when I first got into drugs, I would have been free a lot earlier. But now I can help people who want to move on and teach them that the best is to know God's Word. Today, I want to thank all the missionaries that come to Mexico and work at MEFI. Thank you for coming to hear our stories and to learn from us. Thank you for feeding us and caring about us. I would like to ask you to continue supporting us so MEFI can grow and the street children will come to know God's Word.
I spent 23 years on the streets. The MEFI team brought me off the streets and helped me realize that Christ gave His life for us. He died because He loves us and wants to see us well. I don't want to go back to the streets. I want to go home and see my Father to show Him that I am free, but first I want to grow in the Word. I give thanks to God because before rehab I couldn't walk, but now I can. I used to think I needed drugs to do what I couldn't do, but now I know all I need is Christ. Please pray for me as God is changing my life here in rehab. I desire to be an example to others on the streets of how to be freed from drug addiction.